Hello, everyone. If we're ready to proceed, it's 10 o'clock. We are live, we're recording, we are streaming. Ms. Matias, you may proceed.
Good morning. This is the New York City Board of Standards and Appeals review session from Monday, February 24th, 2025. Please note for the record that I am remote as well as Commissioner Shetta. The first items up are adjournments. 2022-95BZ, 1249 Sutter Avenue, Brooklyn.
Applicant requested an adjournment for a month to complete the improvements. Some of these improvements seem to be underway. Go ahead.
Sorry. 2023-11BZ, 1008 Banner Avenue, Brooklyn.
Applicant submitted its response to DOT comments, so we are waiting for DOT's response, and much of the comments that DOT has also reflects board's comments, so we need this information.
2023-59BZ, 280 Bradley Avenue, Staten Island.
Applicant requested this adjournment to respond to board's comments.
Scott CB.
Sorry?
What?
The community board to respond on this one.
Okay. I didn't see that.
Okay. Move
Thank
on.
you. Yes.
2024-26BZ, 227-64, 112th Road, Queens.
So in light of the recent changes to the zoning resolution, applicant, bless you, applicant has requested additional time to review the applicable regulations and its implication on this application, subject application.
2022-65BZ, 2503, 2519 Coney Island Avenue, Brooklyn.
DOT review is outstanding. We also received an opposition letter from counsel representing a neighbor. The letter states that the neighbor did not receive notice of application or any of the board hearings. First of all, the new neighbor acquired its site in its abutting site in June of 2024. And per board's record, the neighbor's address 2510 Coney Island Avenue did receive notification per board's rules. And the initial hearing was held in May of 2023. So it was well before the current property owner had taken ownership of the site. And since then, board has held 6 hearings, and last one was held in December of 2024. So board has not closed the hearing. Neighbor can make its submission based on information provided.
2024-09BZ, 401 Park Avenue, Brooklyn.
So applicant requested an adjournment to address comments, DEP comments. Since the application was filed in March of 2024, only one hearing was held, and that was in November. And since then, since the filing, 2 adjournments to date has been requested by the applicant. I just want to let it be known that board will not consider any more adjournments, and a letter should go out to the applicant and to the property owner and the school, that is, I'm sorry, since this is a legalization of a school that has been operating at this site for over 7 years. We also received a peer review memo from a consultant retained by Hercules Heat Treating Corporation. This is the use that is located abutting to the school site. And this information, if it has not been forwarded, should be forwarded to the applicant, and the applicant should respond to this document also.
Move on.
Please.
The following are requests for postponement. 2022-43A, 638 East 11th Street, Manhattan.
Okay. Initial application on this was submitted back in July of 2022. It was in tandem with an appeal case. Notice comments were sent in November of 2022. So applicant needs to respond to this to meet the findings of Appendix G in order for us to proceed.
2024-52BZ, 1226 Avenue V, Brooklyn.
Okay. What I'm going to say applies for the next 3 cases. So these three cases were filed prior to the adoption of zoning for housing opportunity. And in light of the changes that were adopted as a result of the ZHO, applicant is reevaluating the new regulations and its applicability to determine if it should proceed with these special permits pursuant to old zoning resolution section 73-622.
2024-58 BZ, 1228 Avenue V, Brooklyn.
Same.
And 2024-60 BZ, 1358 East 24th Street, Brooklyn.
Same.
Okay. 2024-53 BZ, 8903 57th Avenue, Queens.
We have to, I think the notice was not served in time, so that's why it is being postponed.
Okay, but we did receive community board on Friday.
Oh, we did. Okay,
Yeah, I sent it out to you.
okay. So I think it's the hearing notice that may not have been,
Right.
thank you.
The following is a deferral, 2019-256 BZ, 1508 Avenue Z, Brooklyn.
Okay, we're still waiting for DOT and DEP sign off on this.
Decision items, 19708 BZ, 341, 349 Troy Avenue, Brooklyn.
On January 27th, board received an email from the district manager stating that the community board voted in favor of the application, and this was dated November 21st, 2024. Also, we received a CB9 resolution on January 27th expressing concern about the lack of any construction or environmental mitigation at the site since it was initially granted, and asked that the board not consider any further extension of time. I think as it was discussed at the last hearing, the request that has been made, it is to make this project feasible and buildable. And so I do not have any reason not to extend extension of time. So no submission was required. So I make a motion to approve the amendment and all prior conditions remain in effect, including that PCO or CO shall not be issued until DEP has issued a notice of satisfaction for the hazmat remediation, and parking layout shall be approved by Department of Buildings.
Chair
Motion.
Chanda,
Aye.
Vice Chair Shabeta,
Aye.
Commissioner Otley Brown. I couldn't hear you.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Sheta,
Aye.
Commissioner Yoon.
Aye.
Application has been granted. 2018-95 BZ, Volume 2, 120 Avenue M, Brooklyn.
Applicant confirmed that the revised staffing and the visitor count is accurate. And since the initial grant, the program has changed slightly and the number of participants has reduced. Applicant has also revised the roof plan, indicating that there won't be any rooftop recreation at this point, but at a later point, if they want to proceed, they would submit application for amendment. So with that, I make a motion to approve the amendment and all other prior conditions remain in effect.
Chair Chanda,
Aye.
Vice Chair Shabeta,
Aye.
Commissioner Otley Brown. Commissioner Otley Brown. I can't, for some reason, I can't. hear you.
Yeah.
Is the mic
You
on?
want-
It is, it's on.
want
Oh,
both of
now
them?
Now we hear you.
That's weird. Okay, thank you. I hear it now. Commissioner Sheta,
Aye.
Commissioner Yoon.
Aye.
Application has been granted. Item number 15, 2023-41A through 46A, 71 through 91 Long Street Avenue, the Bronx.
We received a letter of opposition from council member and another letter of opposition from two neighbors. Since the last hearing, additional information has been requested by reviewing agencies. Applicant will be submitting a response accordingly. So we will need to reopen to accept the submission. So motion to reopen.
Chair Shanda,
Aye.
Vice Chair Shabeta,
Aye.
Commissioner Otley Brown. Commissioner Otley Brown,
Wow.
I'm so sorry. For some reason, I don't hear you. Commissioner Shedd, I apologize, but I don't. Commissioner
Aye.
Shedd, Commissioner Yoon,
Aye.
It's the Tennessee air.
Chair,
Yeah, I want to say, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, the
Commissioner.
applicant already submitted a response to FDNY. They did. I saw the submission in the folder.
Okay, I did not get a chance to review everything.
It's dated,
I don't know, they did, yes, you're right, they did
Yeah, they
submit it.
did.
One fire department, I believe fire department is meeting this week internally, and so I think it would be good for them to review it. I just want to state something because I'm sure there are people from the neighborhood and from the elected members who are listening in on this case. They have been following this case diligently. So I want to say something, and that is that this is a GCL 35 case. And in such cases, GCL 35 cases, board has very limited purview. And per statutory requirement, granting of GCL 35 would allow DOB to issue permits for buildings in the bed of a mapped street. The statute specifically states, and I quote, where a proposed street widening or extension has been shown on such official map or plan for 10 years or more, and the city has not acquired title thereto, the city may, after a hearing on a notice and a notice as here and above, provided grant a permit for a building or a structure in such street or highway, and shall impose such reasonable requirements as are necessary to protect the public interest. In this case of Long Street, Hadding, and Chaffee, these are streets that have been on the official map for over 10 years. These streets are under multiple private ownerships and partially in city ownership. Since these streets have been mapped, city has not taken any action to acquire the privately held portions of the mapped street beds. Also, there are no capital improvement plans that have been funded for the mapping of the street, for the mapped streets. When the board reviews such cases, it asks agencies such as DEP and DOT for capital improvement plan and fire department for safety. Please note that much of this information, especially the capital improvement plans, is available. It's a public document and it is available and one can see it. In granting GCLs, board in the past and continues to ensure public safety. Its approval is contingent on projects complying with all the applicable regulations, including city, state regulations, and that includes zoning, building code, flood regulations, all other codes that are applicable to any building that would have to be built, that would build as of right. So in this case, the project is proposing to build out the portion of Long Street that is privately held by the applicant and its abutting city-owned portion. And such a street construction has to comply with city standards. Per fire department's review, the build width of the street has been widened to 30 foot plus a 15-foot wide sidewalk. Post approval of a GCL 35, typically development teams secure necessary approvals from DOT and DEP to design and build the streets and drainage to DOT and DEP standards and secure the permits from DOB to build the buildings and street. So I just wanted to kind of read out what our limited purview is when it comes to GCL 35, if anybody's listening. Okay, thank you.
The next item is 2024-49 BZ, 3454 Nostrand Avenue, Brooklyn.
Okay, we received a revised plan with the revised lumen note that was provided by Commissioner Sheta. Thank you. Is everybody satisfied with the? Yeah, I then make a motion to approve. This would be for a 10-year.
Chair Shanda.
Aye.
Commissioner, Vice Chair Shabeta,
Aye.
Commissioner Otley Brown,
No,
I don't know what's wrong with it. Oh, it feels broken.
I think, pull it up.
I'm in the office.
Like, see, it's like,
Uh,
that must be what it is. Aye.
thank you. Commissioner Sheta,
Aye.
Commissioner Yoon.
I think it is.
Application has been granted. Special order calendar, new cases, 26367 BZ, 10802 Otis Avenue, Queens. Received community board approval on Friday.
Yes. I still wasn't able to locate the proof of hearing notice. I did receive the proof of initial filing. And as you mentioned, community board has sent its approval on this application. This is an application pursuant to zoning resolution section 11-413 to legalize a change of use of a previously approved variance permitting a manufacturing of garment office loading in a mixed-use residential district. To convert, and the applicant is proposing to convert that to a mixed-use residential community facility and commercial building that is located at the subject site. So the history on this site stems from 1958 when board had initially granted the variance, and since there were a couple of modifications. The applicant is proposing to convert all the manufacturing uses to use groups 3, to community facility uses and retail uses and other commercial related uses, which would be use group 4 and 7 Roman numeral and use group 3B community facility. So the proposed legalization will reduce the degree of the non-conformance that was granted, except for the retail, dance space, and health and fitness center. Other uses are conforming uses, the residential units, that is, and the community facility use. The applicant does need to provide a compliance chart per 1958 resolution. As I was looking at it, it did not permit any signage in the enlarged portion in the residential use district. So none of the plans that were submitted show any signage. And the existing set of plans and based on the site photos, there are existing signage which don't seem to be complying. So the applicant needs to provide a signage analysis sheet in the drawings indicating the dimensions that are proposed and whether these are illuminated or non-illuminated. And I also noticed that there are awnings. I don't know if these are legal awnings. The board is not weighing anything with regarding to that. Apart from the signage issue, I don't have any, I don't see any issue with this project. And those are my comments. Vice Chair Shabeta.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Commissioner Otley Brown?
And shouldn't the signage be in compliance with C1?
Yes, it should be in compliance with C1.
Okay, yeah, so I
I
agree
mean,
with you.
typically, right, typically we would, where commercial signage use is not permitted, C1 is the default.
Right,
And so they need to show that it complies with C1.
right, which is what, 150 square feet per frontage max, of which a max of 50 square feet illuminated per
Right.
frontage, of which they are way out of compliance. right now.
Especially the retail, the
Yeah.
grocery store seems to be out of compliance on that.
I have no other issues.
Thank you. Commissioner Sheta,
Thank you, Chair. Apart from the compliance chart, nothing else from me. Thank you.
thank you. Commissioner Yoon,
Thank you. I had a few comments. I had a question about the small retail space. I'm gonna just share plans so it's clear what I'm talking about. Oh, also, Chair, you mentioned the new use groups were 3, 4, and 7, but I think that they're 3B, 6, and 8.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. 8. I read the Roman numeral.
Yeah, yeah,
incorrectly.
okay.
You're right.
I just wanted
Sorry
to
about that.
make
Thank
sure
you
the
for that
record was
correction.
clear.
Yes.
Okay, so there's this small retail space in the front here that has not been identified particularly as, like, it's unclear to me what kind of use it is. There's a kitchen, it says it's a retail store, and from all the photos, it looks closed. So if the applicant could clarify, there's also a lift or elevator shown in the court on the right. Let's see if I can resume. If you can see my cursor.
Right.
That does not appear to be there in the photos, so if you could clarify also what that is and if that needs to be there to provide any kind of accessibility. It does seem like there's a ramp, so anyway, if you could clarify what that elevator is doing in the middle of the court. There are, on the approved plans, there are curb cuts shown, but here it's unclear where the curb cuts are, and I would like for the proposed plans to very clearly show where you have curb cuts and where you are parking. Because right now it looks like these courts are being used for parking spaces. So the previously approved, I'm just trying to pull it.
Does it show, then it also needs to show the width of the curb cut.
Yes, so here on the previously approved plans, you can see there are indications of the curb cuts, but we don't have any such information on the current plan. So it would be good to show what the actual existing condition on a proper site plan that includes the curb cuts. While I have this open, this is the, I think, when they had proposed to make the change that they never made. Okay. Let's see what else I had. Also on the previously approved plans on the second floor, there was never this accessory office. So if the applicant could clarify when this was constructed, because it does increase the height of the street wall along the this elevation, this frontage. And then, yeah, the signage is way off. The signage analysis that was provided needs to be broken out by use and by frontage. So just to, and also the chart that the chair has asked for that is included in the drawing set. Let's see, anything else?
Regarding the accessory office, was that included in the calculation?
In the calculation of
Was the floor area, the amount of,
I'm not sure.
because it's not a
I-
permitted use, so those should be accounted very clearly.
It is located on the plans as part of the, yeah, as part of the floor area. I just noticed that it was not shown on the previously approved plan, so I wanted to just get a better understanding of the history of that, that little addition. But it does seem to show up on their, sorry, I paused the share. It does show this 226 square feet of accessory office on the second floor.
Okay.
I think that was all of my comments.
Okay, thank you.
Move on.
Yes.
Continued hearing items on the zoning calendar, 2024-18BZ, 15805 Union Turnpike, Queens.
Applicant made applicant made its submission in response to the comments that were raised at the initial hearing. We also received a revised traffic analysis. Applicant is proposing a foot high vinyl fence along the portion of the northern lot line with the existing low masonry wall. The landscaping, I want the applicant to clarify, indicate on the plan sheet the proposed width of the landscaping area along the lot lines. Some places I see it as 4 foot 4 inches at the southern end, but it's not so along the entire perimeter. So please indicate the width of the landscaping area. Because I don't know if that is the same width along the northern lot line, which I don't think it is. Though the soil depth may vary, as shown in the plan, the applicant in the drawing sheet Z009 do indicate the minimum depth of the soil. There should be a minimum depth. You could go more than that, but at least there should be a minimum depth that should be indicated. I looked at the traffic data analysis. I guess I'll wait to hear back from DOT. Regarding the relocation of the bus stop, I wanted to know if there was any update. I didn't see anything stated in the submission, so I want to know if there's any update on that. Those are my comments. Vice Chair Shiveta.
I didn't hear Vice Chair.
No further comment.
Thank you.
Commissioner Otley Brown.
I have no comment.
Thank you. Commissioner Sheta.
Thank you, Chair. I saw that they added the note regarding the AVC will be on all the times. That's all what I had since last hearing. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Commissioner Yoon.
I have no comments.
Thank you. Next case.
Final case 2024-36BZ, 26 City Island Avenue, the Bronx.
Okay. At the last hearing, board was informed of the use change from an eating and drinking 6 establishment to a banquet hall use group 8. Now, both of these use groups are permitted as of right in a C22 zoning district. So that is not something that is before the board. The applicant in its submission responded to all the questions that were raised. I found it to be very thorough. And as we know, the use of the site as an eating and drinking establishment predates 1961. And the initial variance that was granted by the board was to allow parking of vehicles in the residential portion of the zoning lot. So the applicant is proposing to maintain the same number of vehicles within the residential portion of the zoning lot that would be now used by the banquet hall, which is an as-of-right use. So board is not approving any use. It is just continuing to review the portion of the park, the residential portion of the parking lot, actually the zoning lot that is going to be used for vehicular parking for commercial use. Applicant states that the parking lot will be self-parking and customer will enter the site primarily from the City Island entryway, and the exit will be from both City Island or from Belden Street. So I would like the applicant to put a sign by Belden Street stating that it's an exit only. Site improvements that the applicant has proposed would be an upgrading of the fence along the residential lot line with a 6-foot-high PVC fence along the residential lot line, which will match the rest of the fencing along Rochelle Street and City Island Avenue. The plan set also shows a 6-foot-high PVC fence will wrap around Belden Street. If so, please make it consistent on all plan set. It was on some of them, but not consistently running through the rest of the plan sets. The planting along the residential lot line has been proposed, and based on the tree planting detail, the plants will be, it seems the plants will be in ground and not in a planter box as stated in the letter. So the applicant needs to confirm that, because there was one set of plant that seemed to show in ground, another one somewhere it said boxer. So please confirm that and revise the plans accordingly. Indicate on the plan L01 the minimum width of the bed. It should be minimum 3 foot wide or more to allow for adequate space for plant roots to grow, and the minimum, and also show the minimum depth of the planting bed. Lumen plan has been provided And there are a few locations along the residential lot line where it seems the lumen level is above 2.0 foot candle. However, the net lumen level is less than 2 foot, and that is because of the light that is located in the residential portion of the lot, which was adding to the total lumen level to be above 2, especially along the residential lot line. So I was satisfied with the lumen analysis that's been provided. I just want to know if we have any update on DOT with its regards, but I'm satisfied with the submission that has been made. Vice Chair Shibata. Thank you. Apart from like those comments that I said about the lumens, on the landscaping, the application is in the right direction. I just want to say those need to be addressed. It doesn't mean that what has been submitted is going to be the status quo. Commissioner Otley Brown.
I found the whole narrative regarding the use change and its impact on the parking and whether or not that's going to cause an issue here in terms of disturbing the original variance was very helpful. I appreciate that. And I, like you, Chair, had the question about clarification for the landscaping in terms of planter boxes versus in-ground, and also the planting by spaces 13 to 15, which look like they disappear on pages Z001, 002, 003, and 006.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Oh, was that zoomed in because of that or no?
Excuse me?
It was zoomed in because of that? You couldn't see the...
No, it looks like it kind of looks like it disappears. The planting border kind of goes into the lot line and then is not
Disappear.
there
I
anymore
see.
and then comes out again. So I don't know if that was an error or if they
Okay.
intend that for some reason.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Commissioner Commissioner Sheta.
Thank you, Chair. I agree with you that I want to appreciate the way they did the lumen spread diagram. They did lights off to like draw attention to the fact that lights from outside the site are coming almost along the residential line. One of the readings was like about 5 or 4.9. And then they did lights on, and then they subtracted the lights on minus the lights off. And that's how they came up to a conclusion that along the residential, the lumen was less than 1, even not less than 2. So I want to thank them for the way they did the lumen study. It's very interesting. Thank you.
Okay.
And I have nothing further to add.
Commissioner Yoon.
My only additional comments are to confirm that the gates are going to match the 6-foot-high PVC fence and to indicate the Belden curb cut on the plans and to dimension it because it was not shown before.
Oh, yes, yes. Okay, thank you.
This concludes the review session for February 24th, 2025. We'll resume in 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes. Sure.
Okay.
10:40.
10:40 with the public hearing.
What was the other place you said? You went to?
Harrogate, the small town, or the
Okay, good morning, everyone. We are back. Ms. Matias, we are live, we're recording, we are streaming. You may proceed with the public hearing.
Good morning. This is the New York City Board of Standards and Appeals public hearing for February 24th, 2025. The first item is new cases on the special order calendar, 26367 BC, 10802 Otis Avenue, Queens.
I'm assuming this would be Alexia Landisman.
Is there anyone else with you, Ms. Landesman?
Hi, good morning. Yes, I believe Alex Ramirez should be in the waiting room. He's the architect for this project.
I don't see an Alex Ramirez.
Yeah, I don't. No, there's nobody.
Mm-mm.
We can just give it 1 minute.
Mhm.
Ms. Landesman, is a Mr. Filetti part of your team?
Yes, exactly. That's Alex.
Okay,
Okay.
wanna let him in? Check. Okay, ready?
Morning.
Good morning. Raise your right hand. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this board and to respond honestly to the board member questions?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record and proceed to respond to the board's comments at review session.
Okay, Alexis Ramirez.
Alexia Landisman from Sheldon LaBelle PC on behalf of the applicant. Good morning, Madam Chair and Commissioners. We have attended the executive session and listened to the board's comments. The first was with regards to proof of hearing notice, and I believe that was sent over in the initial filing, but I had just sent over a copy of that to Ms. Matias on her email during the break, and so you should have that in your email. I believe there was a discussion with regards to the signage. I'd like to point out that the elevation plans.
I have it. Thank
Okay,
you.
perfect. I'd like to point out that the elevation plans on the proposed set that was submitted showcase the signage. And in addition to that, there was also a signage analysis form that was submitted. And
Yes, but typically in this kind of situation, we need a signage chart that very clearly lays out each and every sign that has been assigned to this site and what is the signage size and per use and what is how does it comply with the C11 regulations and whether they are and indicating the illuminated, non-illuminated. The reason for asking that question is because as I'm looking at it, they are not complying. That's why.
okay. So we will take note and we will address that on the next submission with our plans. There was also a question with regards to the ADA lift, and it's my understanding that the ramp only goes to the second floor, and so this allows access to the cellar from the street level. And so it's for ADA compliance, Commissioner.
Is it there? I didn't see it.
The ramp or the lift, sorry.
I was asking, is it there? The lift is there? Because I didn't see it in the photos.
Lift is proposed.
I see. So lift is proposed to access the cellar level?
Correct.
With regards to the curb cuts on the site plan, we will add those dimensions within the following submission. And then there was a comment with regards to the office on the second floor. And the current owner purchased the site in 2010, and that was already existing. Unfortunately, we don't know when it was added, But we are trying to legalize that accessory office space for the supermarket. And with regards to the awnings, we will double check that and make sure that we clarify that information for the board with our next submission.
Any other questions or comments?
Oh, yeah, I
Oh.
forgot.
Oh, right, you have that kitchen, you were asking about the kitchen that's located in the front, right?
Yeah, there's a small retail space that doesn't seem to have a current use, and I asked for clarification on what the intent is.
Yes, sorry. That is currently vacant. I think the owner is looking for a tenant for that space at the moment.
And that would be use group.
6, very likely, for retail.
With a kitchen for eating and drinking. Let's see, is that, I guess that,
Is it proposed to keep the kitchen or to remove it?
Mr. Ramirez, do you know?
No, depending on the tenant, currently it was just like a sandwich shop. I mean, previously it was a sandwich shop, currently it's vacant. But it's all what what the owner would like to do with it, but, yeah, it was just a small sandwich smoothie shop previously.
So depending on the tenancy, it may be a place with a kitchen or without a kitchen.
Correct.
But the legalization needs to be very specific to a use. So you have to clarify what use you're proposing for that.
yeah, I guess to me, it doesn't seem like it's clearly spelled out in any of the documents. We have a very clear breakout of dance studio, karate, daycare, house of worship, and the supermarket. I guess the store, if you could just more clearly indicate that there's an intent to have an eating and drinking establishment or retail store.
Right, we can make that clear in their next submission.
No, there is no compliance chart, so that would need to be provided.
Yes.
Okay.
You gotta be here. Let's make your phone paper.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
No.
Let's go to the public then. Let's go to the public.
Okay, the case that we're currently discussing is 26367 BZ 10802 Otis Avenue, Queens. Should you wish to comment on this application, please dial 669-254-5252. At the prompt, you will enter the webinar ID number 1601411900 and press the pound sign. At the next prompt after that, you will press the pound sign only. Once you're permitted in, you will press *9 to raise your hand, *6 to unmute if you're calling in on the phone in order to unmute. And if you're in the Zoom room already, please raise your Zoom hand, which is the little hand at the bottom of your computer screen. Once you are recognized in any forum, you will have 3 minutes in which to discuss.
Okay. I now do see the email that was sent, showing the proof of hearing notice. I'm satisfied with that. How much time will you need to make these corrections?
Alex, how much time do you need to make the adjustments to the plans and look into the awning and the signage?
We can have these corrected, could have corrected by the end of the day today.
So I
And-
think
Don't you need to measure the signs that are there? Or are you going to say that these signs shall comply with the regulations and then your tenants may not know what they are doing and they will continue to do what they have? That's not how it works.
We do have field measurements of the signs. We're gonna check those, verify them, and yeah, we'll get back to Amanda about that.
Right, and if they are not complying, you need to identify the ones
Yes.
that are complying, how they would be complying with the regulations.
Yes.
You can make those changes while we are going through the process, that will be even better. Okay, and also the width of the curb cuts, all of those need to be indicated. Yeah. Okay.
When has raised their hands or called in, Madam Chair?
No one raised their hand. Oh, okay, sorry. Thank you for monitoring that. I'm just looking at the calendar for combined line. Just one second. So what I would suggest that we schedule this for March 24th. 6th.
sorry, you cut off at the end. I'm so sorry, Chair.
Sorry, I was suggesting that we schedule this for March 24th. And the submission date for that is March 6th. That gives you enough time to do all the research and make the submission. And also talk to your client, the tenants, and make sure that the signage are complying, especially the signage that's on the corner building.
Understood.
Also, if you could indicate if there are parking spaces, indicate them on the plan and dimension them, because I don't know that with the lift, you'll be able to still park in the court as it seems like people are doing now. In which case we'd probably want to close the curb cut if it's not serving any parking. The curb cuts were, I imagine, initially there for the loading and unloading of a manufacturing use, which is no longer there. So I just want to make sure that we aren't keeping curb cuts that are not necessary if they're not serving anything.
Good call. Right. All right, thank you.
Zoning I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Zoning calendar, continued hearing items, 2024-18 BZ, 15805 Union Turnpike, Queens. Lise Fullader.
Letting her in. Anyone else, Ms. Fullader from your team?
Yes, just Josh.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Change the road. Yeah. Anyone else?
No, that's it.
Okay, please unmute Mr. Herman and raise your right hands. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this board and to respond honestly to board member questions?
I do.
I do.
Please state your name for the record and proceed to respond to the board's comments at review session.
Elise Fullader from Eric Kalanick PC on behalf of the applicant. I'm here with Josh from Stonefield Engineering. We listened to your comments. Thank you so much. First, with the landscaping, we heard the details that you want added to the plans. I spoke with the architect, and that's not a problem. We will add the width of the landscaping along the lot lines that are unclear and show on Z009 a minimum depth of the soil. Next item that came up was the bus stop. Josh, if you want to just share what you shared with, or tell the board what you shared with me.
Yes, so we have coordinated, we sent the plans to the MTA, and they had no objections to the existing bus stop remaining as is.
So we're going to submit in the next submission, a copy of that email where they say that they have no objections.
Okay.
And then last is the point of Josh, we found a new place. He did a study of a whole new site that we thought was applicable, and he can speak on that if you have any questions. But we would just respectfully ask that we've heard from the DOT that they have a lot of mayoral projects they're working on. So just respectfully ask that the board help us or staff help us get a timeline from DOT that we can follow and they can follow so we can finalize this project.
Okay, any questions? Next, let's go to the public then.
Case that we're currently discussing is 2024-18 BZ 15805 Union Turnpike, Queens. Should you wish to comment on this application, dial 669-254-5252. At the prompt, you will enter the webinar ID number 160-141-1900 and press the pound sign. At the prompt after that, you will press the pound sign only. Once you're permitted in, press *9 to raise your hand, *6 to unmute if you're calling in on the phone. And if you're in the Zoom room already, please raise your Zoom hand, which is the little hand at the bottom of your computer screen. Please note that in any forum, once you're recognized, you'll have 3 minutes in which to discuss.
I would say best way to coordinate the next hearing would be, who's the project manager on this?
Jella.
Jen. So coordinate with Ms. Prenga and DOT review, and so that we can schedule it in a way where we have.
Yeah. I mean, we would agree. So whatever works, or if we can get any kind of date from DOT, we'll follow that schedule. And
Yeah. Yeah.
It has been difficult to get dates. They're very backed up right now. Not only on mayoral projects, but BSA projects. So, but we will try, as we always do.
Yeah. As you know, my team always does.
yeah, no problem.
Yes, thank you.
Jimmy? No?
So we're,
Next case?
oh, I didn't hear you. So nobody called in?
No, I just, yeah, I guess you didn't hear me. No
Okay.
one called in or raised their hands. I apologize. Yeah.
Thank you. And we'll work closely with your team in scheduling it for the
Yeah,
next
no-
year.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Final item is 2024-36 BZ 26 City Island Avenue, the Bronx.
This would be Stephanie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've let her in. Is there anyone else from your team?
Good morning. Hello, this is Stephanie Marazzi from Hershen, Singer and Epstein. I'm the only one appearing today.
Okay,
Okay,
please
is there
raise your
any-
right hand. I'm sorry. Please
No.
raise your right hand. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this board? To respond honestly to board member questions.
I do.
Please state your name for the record and proceed to respond to the board's comments at review session.
Thank you. My name is Stephanie Marazzi. I'm with the law firm Hershen, Singer and Epstein. I attended this morning's review session. Thank you for the comments. I think we should be able to address everything in the next written submission. Just to sort of outline them, we can add an exit only sign at the Belden Street exit. We can show the PVC fence on Belden Street consistently. I will confirm whether the planting on the residential lot line was intended to be in ground or in a planting box. I believe it was supposed to be a planting box, but I saw that the landscaping plans didn't really show that. So we will correct that and resubmit, as well as adding the minimum width of the bed of 3 feet and a minimum depth. I took a look at the planting. Commissioner Otley Brown had noted that the planting seemed to disappear next to spaces 13 to 15. And I believe that's just the existing condition. Today, there is no sort of planting strip next to those spaces, but for all the proposed conditions plans, the bed seems to be shown consistently next to those spaces. And I think the Z sheets that were referenced are actually the lumens plans, which show the existing condition. We will confirm there are the gates at the Belden exit will match the PVC fence, and we'll show and dimension the curb cut on the plans as well. So I think we can take care of all of that.
So, so these are not going to be in-ground planting. These are going to be on a planting bed.
I think that was the intention, but I will confirm with the landscape architect that that's possible. And if not, then they'll have to be in ground.
Okay. Either way, just make sure that the soil depth is adequate for planting. And, we have seen some really successful planter box planting, but a lot of that depends on really the depth and the width of the planting bed and the material that is being used for these planting beds. And that really helps a lot in the success of planting bed of landscaping. Otherwise, in-ground is always better.
Yeah.
But just so this is a recommendation for you to talk to your landscaping team to ensure.
Will do.
It will be a way of having planting bed there, which is not serving its purpose and it's just lying fallow.
Understood.
All right. Any questions or comments? Let's go to the public then.
Okay, the case we're currently discussing is 2024-36 BZ, 26 City Island Avenue, the Bronx. Should you wish to comment on this case, dial, sorry, 669-254-5252. At the prompt, you will enter the webinar ID number 160-141-1900 and press the pound sign. At the prompt after that, you will press the pound sign only. Once you're permitted in, you will press *9 to raise your hand, *6 to unmute if you're calling in on the phone. And if you're in the Zoom room already and wish to participate, please raise your Zoom hand, which is the little hand at the bottom of your computer screen. Please note, for any forum, you will be permitted 3 minutes only to speak.
How long will it take for you to make these changes?
I think 2 weeks should be fine. Maybe a month, but no more than that.
Okay. No, this is there's no change to this plan. There's no change to it. We had thought of it because of the change of use, but the change of use is an as of right use and it doesn't really, no. you need a month to submit, then the next hearing would be April 7th. Because-
We might be able to get it done in 2 weeks if there's an earlier hearing, but
The earlier hearing is March 24th, 25th with a March 6th submission.
March 6th. Yeah, I think we should be able to do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're waiting for the clock to run out.
Very advanced system we have here.
Yeah. Highly technical.
Okay. I think in light of the fact that most of our comments and concerns has been responded to, I want to make a recommendation that we close, but keep the record open for you to make the submission. Especially with the, complete the entire set of plans with all the corrections that the board has asked for and the landscaping.
Chair Shanda,
Aye.
Vice Chair Shabeta. I can't hear you, sir.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Otley Brown? Nope.
Going on.
Thank you. Commissioner Sheta?
Aye.
Commissioner Yoon? I didn't hear you.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Public hearing for February 24th, 2025. Thank you, one and all. For those people who are still in the room, your case might have been heard earlier or decided, adjourned. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.